Hey everyone, welcome to our first official video for my new book, #Are You Here Yet? How to STFU and Show Up for Yourself. And today we are going to talk about chapter 1, which is the work of being you and deciding to work it fierce. The quote I picked for this one was by the queen of all fierceness, Betty White. It's your outlook on life that counts. If you take yourself lightly and don't take yourself too seriously, pretty soon you can find the humor in our everyday lives. And sometimes it could be a life changer. Thank you, Miss Betty White. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Thank you for being you. So what is chapter 1 really talking about? So one of the main points that I spoke about was the why of doing something. When we are on this course of self-help and personal development, we need to take a really good look at why we're doing it. What are the motives behind what we're doing? And get real raw and real with that. Because sometimes, we do it for, we want to belong, or we want to look cool, or we want those social media likes, which is pretty basic. What you always want to take a look at is, and this is with like so much in life, what are your motives for doing anything? How is this serving your highest self? And so that's the number one point that you want to really focus on when you're on this road. Second point is being in the present moment. Now, with any goal, we're always looking at the end product, the end goal, the finish line, right? But while we're busy looking at the finish line, we're not doing the real work in between. We're just kind of like, glancing through and just like, oh yeah, you're there, but I want to go there. I want to go there. The work is always worth it. And the result is really the work, not the end result itself. I mean, they both are. But think of all of the mental, emotional, spiritual musculature you build throughout the process of doing something. And if you're doing it for yourself, because this is something you want to improve your life, then, you're going to bust your ass to do it. And you're going to be, you're going to develop that musculature. I love that word, musculature. Isn't it great? And the other thing is, we defeat ourselves when we set these goals and we talk ourselves out of it, right? I've done it myself. I'm sure some of you did it yesterday or right before you watched this video. We're thinking about the what ifs. Well, what if I do this and it doesn't work? Like, with dating, I get a lot of clients like, what if I ask him out on a date and he says no? And I'm like, well, what if you ask him out and he says yes? Because both possibilities exist immediately upon, you entering into this situation. It's less about what if and more about what's in front of you right the heck now. What do you do right here, right now? It's being very present, being very, very focused. Now, all of this sounds great, right? But sometimes it's a little harder to, practice this in our real lives. So one of the key elements is having something that is a daily practice. So some people do that with meditation. Some people do that with yoga. People do that with tarot cards. Some people do that with journaling, underwater basket weaving, whatever. I strongly encourage that if you are on some sort of path of personal development, self-improvement, make sure that you do one thing a day that is towards that goal, right? Towards that practice, towards that new way of being. Just one thing a day, and that's going to do just so much for you, okay? It's going to, again, going back to that word I like so much, musculature, it's going to give you that musculature that you need to make this from a concept you learned out there into an internal process that's just going on automatically. And the last main point in chapter 1 talks about the power of choice. This is something I repeated in both of my books because I feel very strongly in my clinical work with clients and in my own life and my own journey that the power of choice is the strongest superpower we have. We could change anything about ourselves by making choices. And sometimes the only choice we really have is to choose to change the perception of something, right? Choose to change the frame in which we see something. The reality stays the same, but depending on which frame I'm looking at it from, it's going to give me a different reality, a different perception, a different feeling, which then will lead to a different behavior, all of these things. So the why of doing something, check yourself before you wreck yourself, but that's a later chapter. Being present, changing your what ifs to what now, engaging in daily practice, and utilizing your superpower of choice. And those are the 5 main points that you will learn from chapter 1 of my new book, Are You Here Yet? How to STFU and Show Up for Yourself, available on Amazon. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You know how to reach me across social media at drtonyortega.com. DR, don't spell out the word doctor, okay? Thank you so much for listening, for watching, and I'll see you next time.